All right, what's up, guys? So I'm doing a live trade. So I actually missed my entry. Very sorry about that. So I got into a trade. I'll show break down everything for you guys. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead, turn the camera on, turn this into a live trading video. So here we are. So I'm currently in an NDX call. You can see I got the 14910 call expiring today. If I zoom out, kind of show you guys what the actual plan looks like. This is where it is. So I got in a little bit earlier. I think it was on this candle around here, maybe this one. Stop is going to be below this demand zone here. I'm going to be targeting the highs up at supply and this high here. Okay, now the thesis for why I'm getting into this trade is pretty simple. So if we take a look over here, we can see, we moved up, we went down, we had our nice move higher. So essentially just looking for that pullback for that next leg up, okay? And the reason why we decided to get in is because we have this 5-minute demand zone holding up. So I'm like, okay, if we get below this demand, I want to get out. I'm going to take my loss. That's where my stop is going to be. We should be able to make a move back up towards this high. Now, currently, as you guys can see, I'm down about 300 bucks. Like I said, I know my risk on this. I'm very comfortable taking the loss. I know exactly when to get out. And if I'm right, this should end up being a pretty decent winner for me. Okay, we should be able to see this nice move higher and then end up, taking out this new high. Okay, another big reason for that is because of NQ. So NQ at that 15,000, that whole level mark, there's a good amount of liquidity up there. I do think price can make a move up there. So we're just going to let price do its thing. The cool thing about trading is that it doesn't really take a lot of work. I kind of just get in, have my stop, have my target, and then let the trade do its thing. I don't have everything OCO'd in right now just because I wanted to do it live for you guys. You can see all the live executions. You can see my emotions, everything that's going on throughout this trade. But yeah, keeping it really, really simple. And yeah, a big thing I get as well is, why am I trading, where is it? Why am I trading, NDX calls instead of, QQQ? And a big reason for that, it's not a big reason. I guess the main thing is I just prefer NDX. I've traded, SPX. I like trading that over SPY. Same with NDX over QQQ. It just trades a little bit smoother, a little bit more volatile. So I like to trade it that way. But yeah, that kind of clears that up. But yeah, really simple trade coming into demand. We're in an uptrend. It is going against me right now, but like I said, going to keep it emotionless. Just going to get out if it hits my stop, going to get out when it hits my target, and let the trade do its thing. So I'm going to pause the video now, update it when there's some more price action, and we'll go ahead and continue the video there. So quick little update. Now, this is actually a really nice lesson you guys can learn. So see the market starting to really take off here. And we held that demand zone I was talking about, had a lot of consolidation, a lot of wicks. Now we're starting to really see that push. I'm going to look to sell in a bit here if we can get that nice little squeeze higher up to 360, 276. But I want you guys to look at this for a second. I'm only up about 50, 60 bucks when the price is way higher than when I actually got in. I got in a little bit lower around 362.15 area, around here. I'm only, one thing that you can take away, and this is obviously a constraint that I'm dealing with, is the actual option that you get in. So we take a look at NDX here. I get in out the money, 0 day to expire. And it's actually funny because I typically tell all my students not to do that. And the only reason I did do it is because I'm working with a small account right now. I obviously have my main account where I take my normal trades in. That's how I make my money. But I also wanted to grow a small account to show you guys that's possible, that you can actually do that. And so because of that, I was a little bit constrained with the amount of capital I had. So I said, I'm just going to go with this option. That was essentially the reason why I did that. Now, what I want you to take away from this is that, first thing, right, even if the trade works out, you can still lose money. And so getting the right option is going to be extremely crucial when it comes to kind of dealing with that and understanding how markets move, right? The other thing is time, right? I got in around here. We had about, almost an hour of straight consolidation. And so that led to a lot of chop and a lot of decay with the option that I had. Now, something I can learn from this is, and again, no matter what, if this ends up failing or if this ends up hitting profit, I should have probably went with futures. And I actually do have a small account futures that I put money into. The funds haven't settled yet, but trading futures is ultimately going to be a better trade for this type of setup. Mainly because, like I said, with options decay, if we have 30 to 45 minutes here of straight chop, it's simply not going to be as good, right? I can actually just pull up the option here on the chart itself. And you guys can see there's not much volume, but got in here at 13, kind of dipped down a little bit, and now we're looking for that move higher. Now, if we were back at the highs, it'd be at 23, which is about $1,000. But you can see we're almost at the highs here, and we're not quite even close to that $1,000 mark yet. So going back, obviously, if we look at a different option, like maybe this one, a little bit more in the money, you can see it would have been a little bit better, right? If we got in here around 25, be up at 30, a little bit better. But honestly, just going with futures, going with not out of the money options would have been a lot better. But dealing with a small account, I do know it is tough, and that's one of the things that is why it is very tough to grow a small account. Having a main account to trade off is a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. So we're gonna take that mistake with us onto the next trade and make sure we don't do that again. But for this current update on this trade, held demand, that's really good. So we're looking for that push higher. Just want to see a nice push to high of day. If we get a nice clean break up to 363 or up to this liquidity level at 15,000 on NQ, that would be best case scenario what we're looking for there. So hopefully it can happen pretty quickly so we don't get any more decay. But again, I'm just going to let the market do its thing, let the trade play out. And I'll update you guys when, whether the stop hits or the target hits, and let you guys know what's going on. So update you, be back with you guys in a second. As you guys can see, quick update. Currently up about $300 on this. We're breaking through this high now. I'm just looking for it to get a little bit higher. I have an order out to sell this at 18. So we just need a little bit of a pop higher. We should be able to get that fill. Should be about a $500 day. And I want to go ahead and do a full-on recap for you guys. Because there's something in this trade specifically where I didn't quite do that well on. And even though this trade is most likely going to get me filled and make me a good profit, there's a huge mistake I made. And I really want to dive deep into that because I think it's going to be extremely important for you guys in your trading to really understand what's going on. So we're getting that pop higher, almost even get filled on the ass there at 18. If we get just a little bit of a pop higher, probably just pull up the chart on here actually. If we go to NDX, kind of see what this looks like. Let me zoom out a little bit or zoom in. It's just like that. So we just need a little squeeze higher. Probably get up this 14.96, 9.7, 9.8 area, and we should be able to go on and get a fill. But we have the order out there. We'll see if we can get a fill. Would be a nice little day. But I want to talk about something that's really important, okay? And basically what that means is, as you guys can see, if this works out, I'm going to make $500, okay? And $500 is cool. The trade thesis is cool, right? The reason why I got in, it all makes sense. It's my setup. It's my strategy. I'm very glad I got in. But the real negative downside part here I want to talk about is the option I took specifically, okay? Because if I was wrong, this would have been around a $500 loss. So it would have been around a 1-to-1 risk reward, which actually isn't ideal. And as you know, when I showed the trade earlier, I believe it was around like 1.5 to 1. It was something like this. 1.5 to 1. So it should be a little bit higher. And the biggest reason for that was the actual option I took. Okay. And you guys can see, you guys know, I got an out of the money 0 days to expire NDX option, which is actually typically, not the option that I tell my students to get. It's not the option that I typically get, but because of the small account and the way that I'm playing this account that I have, I needed to do it, right? Looking back, the biggest mistake I could have learned from this is that I should have gotten either QQQ calls or just done futures. And I do have a futures account that I'm getting funded for small accounts. I could have just used my main account to trade this one. But that's honestly the biggest lesson to take away. Now, when it comes to the actual trade, I'm going to go ahead and break down, show you guys kind of, why I got in, why I'm getting out now. And it looks like we're getting close to getting that fill. We'll see if we can get that. Just need a little push higher on the ask. Almost. See, it's playing around with me. You guys know how those emotions work, right? I'm just going to let it do its thing. We'll see if we get filled. Get that little push higher, maybe the 363. So we'll see if we can get that fill there. But the biggest reason I got in was let's take a look at what happened today, okay? So we have a nice little move higher, nice move lower, and we end up breaking that high again. And this is really key because at this point, it shows me that buyers are now in control. And what I mean by that is, you see we took out this low, so sellers are in control. We have the supply form. And then right there, we should be able to see that price goes above that supply. And at that point, we know that buyers are now in control, right? This demand or this low should hold at this point, okay? And when we know that this low should hold just like this, just like that. I'll go back to you in a second. We just got filled. Beautiful. All right. So there you go. Live account, live trade, $500 just got filled on that right there. You can see now those contracts are worth 19. But anyways, that's for a different story. So solid $500 day. But again, I want to break this down for you, right? So we take this high, we take this low, we end up breaking this high here, and that shows us that buyers are now in control, okay? And so when I know that, I say, okay, I want to wait for a pullback to get long for next leg higher. That's basically what I did, right? So if we take a look here, we see that we come down and be this 5-minute demand zone. Beautiful, beautiful 5-minute demand zone. So I'm like, okay, we have a nice demand zone to play our longs off of. I'm going to go ahead and get long. Put my stop right into low. We're going to target the high and also target this supply up here because I have the supply zone marked at 363, higher time frame daily supply zone. So I see this. I'm like, okay, perfect. I get in long, pulls back a little bit on me, and we end up just reaching my target, end up getting filled just like that. So really good setup, really good A+ setup, right? I would take this trade a million times over. But again, the thing that I messed up on was getting the option, right? I got NDX calls, 0 days to expire, and that was a big mistake on my part. Now, I am dealing with a small account. I do have constraints. But what I really should have done is got QQQ calls, or I should have just gone with futures. And this is something I'm going to write down in my journal, right? Even though it was a profitable trade and I made money, I really want you guys to walk away and learn this lesson that I'm going to put in my journal that, hey, I need to be getting the right options. And if this was my main account, I definitely would have got in the money, QQQ or NDX calls, or just futures alone. But because of the nature of the small account, I definitely should have went with QQQ calls, and that's a mistake that I'm going to learn going forward with this trade. Because if I was wrong, I probably would have lost around $500 as well, $500 to $600. So because of the option, just wasn't a good trade. So even though the trade ended up working out, the thesis was good. I hope you guys learned from that. The biggest takeaway is really about the option. It matters. It is so crucial that you get the right option. Otherwise, it's simply, you're not going to have the good risk reward, and it's going to really mess up your risk management in the future. Okay. And honestly, we got filled at a pretty good price. We ran right into our supply zone, ended up rejecting it. So at this point, I don't really care what happens, right? I'm in. I got my money. I'm walking away. But overall, really solid setup, really solid trade. And I really hope that you guys did enjoy this live trading session of me making $500 in, what was this, like an hour or two? 12:05 to 3:15. Yeah, about 2 hours, right? Sorry, 1 hour, about an hour. So really solid day, really solid trade, aside from the option selection and the execution. But hope you guys enjoyed something. If you did, if you guys want to learn more about my strategy and kind of how I trade and, because it's not just supply and demand, it's not just trend. I look at a lot of other things as well. You want my back-tested and proven strategy? What I did is I put a link in the description for you. Okay, it's a free online training showing you the exact 3-phase system I use for all my entries and my exits. So go ahead, watch that free training for you guys. I'll leave that in the link in the description below. And yeah, without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed. And comment, subscribe, let me know other videos if you want more live trading, things like this. I can definitely go ahead and make those for you. So let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.